groundwater sources in Tonga face a major contamination risk due to poor sanitation, mainly due to badly built septic tanks and other contaminations. Most septic tanks in Nuku'alofa are the double-chamber concrete septics, and they rely on water. These add to groundwater contamination if they release untreated wastewater into the ground. The recommended septic system for the main island are plastic molded tanks, which have a minimal negative impact to the environment. In some outer islands and places with little water, it is necessary to build toilet systems that do not require water or flushing. Also, they should not harm the environment, especially groundwater, which the nation relies on. This is the double-chamber compost toilet. Compost toilets have been used for many years in other countries. In Tonga, the idea of handling compost from human waste is new, so some people might be worried about it. But a well-maintained compost toilet is very hygienic and does not smell. And the compost from it produces high-quality fertilizer that is used to improve soil for farming and gardening. Waste is captured within the closed chambers that sit above the ground level, avoiding untreated waste from intruding the earth. The seater is movable. One side is used while the other remains closed with a hole cover. When it is full, the seat raiser is moved to the second chamber for use. The used one is covered and left to compost down. When the second chamber is used, it is sealed and the first chamber is emptied of finished compost so it can be used again. It is a dry toilet that does not use water for flushing. Instead, small amounts of water are used for regular cleaning. Any excess liquid drains from the base of the chambers to a shallow soaked pit. After use, a handful of organic matter or ash is added. With both chambers equipped with air ventilators, bad smells are brought to a minimum. Harmful germs are killed by the heat of the compost pile and by the length of time the compost is left before removal from the chamber. The Willy, or one-chamber compost toilet. Similarly to the two-chamber compost toilet, it sits above the ground, and therefore there is no risk of contaminating the environment. The toilet sits above one chamber that is big enough to fit 2 Willy bins. The Willy bins are both modified and each have one opening on the side. This allows the excess liquid pipe to lead liquid out of the bin in use to a soaked trench. Inside each bin, a false floor made of galvanized mesh wire is fitted and suspended 75mm from the bin's floor using 2 pieces of PVC pipe. This is where waste is held as it breaks down into compost. When a bin is full, it is closed and replaced with the empty bin. Similarly to the two-chamber compost toilet, as one bin is used and filled over the months, the waste in the closed bin decomposes. The pour flush toilet. This diagram shows the components of the pour flush toilet both underground and above ground. Many people with a few resources can actually build this type of toilet using recycled materials and other readily available materials such as bamboo. The flushing water does not have to be clean. You can use laundry, bathing, or other used water. This toilet needs to have 2 pits. These can each be made by mounting 2 oil tanks together. The tops of the lower tanks and the bottom covers of the upper tanks need to be removed. The bottom tanks need to be perforated, while the ones on top will need to be mounted to the lower tanks. Drilling and using nuts and bolts is helpful. Use rocks around the bottom of the tanks to support the structure. Install a layer of plastic above the rocks. Bury the rest of the structure with soil. Also, use solid covers to protect and cover the pits. When the first pit is full, a valve is used to direct the waste and water to the second pit. Water and waste enter the pit that is in use. Solid waste fills the pit while liquid soaks away into the surrounding soil. It takes about 2 or so years to fill one pit. The toilet will have to be well ventilated to allow air to flow out. The problem with this toilet is that contaminated or untreated water may enter water tables close by. You will also need to dig and build a new setup every time your 2 pits fill up completely. The VIP, or ventilation improved pit. This is actually a standard pit latrine. The only thing special about it is that it has an added vent pipe. It sits above the ground, over a pit with no treatment for waste. This is just expelled into the ground below. It attracts insects such as flies and mosquitoes. The vent rises above the toilet as an attempt to conquer bad smells. This toilet often has to be built with room between the doors, the ceilings, and the walls as an additional attempt to let air flow out. For a dry toilet that does not use water, this is the worst choice, unpleasant and damaging to the groundwater and environment.